All right, and we're back for another Lunch and Learn. Hello, and welcome to another AT University Lunch and Learn session, sponsored by ITS. For those of you who have been with us before, you know that we conduct these sessions using video technology from Google Hangouts. We're glad that you were with us for this broadcast from either Google Plus or YouTube. And so you might ask, why do we use these tools? And that's a fair question. So as an institution, we're pretty good at sharing ideas when we're all together in a classroom or a conference room. But when it comes to communicating using newer online tools, many of us are just too busy with the day-to-day routine to kind of play with this new technology and experiment with finding better ways of communicating and collaborating with these online tools. So thus, one of the goals of these sessions is to present information that will hopefully be helpful to you. But secondly, we want to experiment with this type of format of these Lunch and Learns to try and figure out just how to build virtual community and share more ideas online. So that's why we use these. If you're participating for the first time, sit back, relax, and enjoy the broadcast. Using Hangouts can be a very passive way to participate in the session. Basically, you just watch the session. But if you're with us before, been with us before, we're hoping that most of you are not passive and you actually want to share your opinions and interact with others. So to engage in some kind of healthy and hopefully fun discussion about the topic. So to participate, you can add your comments to what we refer to as the chat room. And the chat room is simply the comment area in Google Plus for this event. So it's where we encourage you to use the chat tools associated with the event, post your thoughts, ask questions, even throw virtual tomatoes using those comment tools in the Google Plus area. So we have people monitoring those comments, and then we'll try and include those comments back into the session. And if you're a bit more adventurous and you really want to be part of the Hangout, let us know, and we'll try and get you in there directly. You can do that via just instant message to either Gene or myself. So today, the topic is we're joined by the A.T. Still Memorial Library staff, or some of the staff, to discuss the University Educational Technology and Development Center. This service is designed to assist faculty with software presentations in addition to other services that they will outline for us. So we have library staff from both campuses. From the Arizona campus, we have Mike Cronenfeld, University Librarian, and Bill Coombs, the Director of the ETDC. So Bill, wave. And then from the Missouri campus, we have Jean Sidwell, and she's to my right as I'm looking at my screen, and Margaret Hooglin, Distance Support Librarian. So a good group. Hopefully we'll have a good discussion and learn a little bit. I think Bill plans to lead us through the discussion, but Mike, as the Director of the ETDC, do you have anything, comments you would like to make before we get going?
I just want to say, Brian, I appreciate the opportunity for the library to take advantage of this type of updating. I think it's an example of how, you know, it's really good that we start exploring the new technology and have new means of communicating and sharing information across two campuses, which is, you know, I think, as we all discovered, has been a real challenge. In today's session, we were going to highlight our Educational Technology Development Center, which is a service where library staff helps faculty learn to effectively select and use the different programs and platforms relating to the support of the academic efforts of the university that is supported and provided by ITS. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Bill, and he'll introduce you to the service, and he and Margaret will discuss some of the things that they can do for you and how you can get a hold of them and set up that use.
Okay. All right, so I'm Bill Coombs, and I am the Director of the ETDC, and I'm here on the Mesa campus. And the ETDC here on the Mesa campus is in the library. And probably the best way to find us, if you've never been here before, is to ask Catherine at the front desk, and she'll direct you back here, because I'm kind of back here in the inner workings of the library. So it's best to ask
Bill,
where we are.
I don't want to steal Margaret's thunder, but you also have a presence on the Kirksville campus as well, right?
That's right, yeah. In Kirksville, recently opened, actually. Margaret Hooglin is the contact person there for the ETDC, and we have a creation station there. And Margaret will be giving you more detail on that a little bit later. What I'm going to talk about right now is sort of the services that I do, and I do work university-wide. Obviously, most of the focus is here on the Mesa campus for me, but I am available university-wide for anyone who needs to consult with me. Basically, as Mike said, we were set up in order to provide consultation for faculty and for staff as well on creating presentations and integrating technology into presentations, into classroom presentations, into online presentations, so that faculty can learn to use the technology and use it effectively to get their information across to their students. Let me just kind of give you an overview of a day that I spend here. I might have an appointment with a faculty member who's coming down to learn some of the technology in order to create a class, and usually what we use for that sort of situation is a faculty will have a PowerPoint, and they want to record it, and so they come down and we have some tools to use with recording PowerPoints. We have Camtasia, which basically you set up and it records your presentation. It's kind of like doing an in-class presentation, only you're recording it for online. You can include quizzes in it and things like that, but it's basically a screen capture of your lecture. We also have some interactive software, and I'll show an example of one of them called Articulate Storyline. I'll show it a little bit later. And what these Articulate Studio and Articulate Storyline, what they do is they enable the faculty member to get more interactive content. And that's one of the things that we've been striving for here in the ETDC, is to make faculty aware that they're able to put more interactive content into their presentations, and which would serve to engage the students. I know that when I first started here at the library, I was the library assistant. I sat at the front desk and worked with work-study students up there, and I would talk to them occasionally about their educational experience, and I know a lot of them expressed to me that they were just simply sick of sitting back and watching PowerPoints and watching the PowerPoints go by. And so, you know, the message I took out from that was that they would enjoy a lot better having presentations that engage them more, that interactive for them, so that they can interact with the presentation and feel as if they're really taking part in the presentation. So the library obtained these two tools, Articulate Storyline and Articulate Studio, to enable that. As I said, I'm going to show a little Articulate Studio presentation a little bit later. It's a very short presentation that shows how interactivity can be built into it. And both Articulate Studio and Articulate Storyline can work with PowerPoint. So if you have a PowerPoint presentation that you want to insert interactive content into it, you can just bring the PowerPoint down here, and we can discuss how to put that interactive content in there. Articulate Studio is actually a PowerPoint add-in, so it works directly with PowerPoint, and the Storyline, you can import the PowerPoint into the Storyline and then work with it there.
And Bill, you're working with some other tools too, right? Those aren't the only two tools that we have the ability to do that with. I know lots of people are using Camtasia. I know a few have talked about SoftChalk. There are a variety of tools that are available.
Yeah, I think that right now, since the university doesn't have a license for SoftChalk, it's kind of a individual thing, and I have looked into it, and I have helped a couple of faculty members. They've gotten their own personal versions of SoftChalk, and I've worked with them to kind of, it's very simple actually to start, get them up and running on it once they get it. So yeah, you're right. There are other interactive tools there. I did mention Camtasia earlier, and it's more of just a screen capture kind of thing. It screen captures your PowerPoint, but a lot of faculty members use that, and if you do have questions about it, certainly you can ask me, and if you need to get started with it, the university does have a site license for it, so you can get that Camtasia put on your computer. IT will do that for you, and then I can get you started with it. I can hold your hand as you're making your first presentation. We have a creation station here in the ETDC in the library, and one of the suggestions that we make is if you are starting using Camtasia, you can come down here and I can show you how to use it. We can get you going on your first presentation. We can get you through that. We can help you edit it. We can help you produce it and help you put it up onto Blackboard. And as you get more comfortable with it, then you can go to recording it in your office. And if any questions come up while you're doing that, I'm certainly here to consult on those as well.
And as Margaret's going to mention in a couple of minutes too, she's providing those same services one-on-one for for our faculty staff in Kirksville.
Right. It's great that Margaret is online now, and she can help with those things in Missouri. I think that having the two campuses was kind of it didn't work out really well collaborating in that way. But now we have the presence on the Missouri campus, and Margaret can directly help people there.
And you guys are saying just campus-based, but I mean, with tools like this Google Hangouts, I would think you'd be willing to assist faculty who are off campus as well.
Right. I mean, I help a lot of adjunct faculty who are not on campus, the people who are aware of the ETDC, give them a heads up, and I do help them quite a bit with, particularly with things like Illuminate Sessions, their webinars, and I've consulted somewhat with them on Turning Point, the clickers, also, if they want to use them, not in their online things, but if they do come to campus occasionally to give an in-person presentation here. And I just mentioned a couple of things that I also do here, campus-wide, really. I consult on, I can set up Illuminate Sessions. Illuminate is a webinar software, and so I can set up Illuminate Sessions for that. And I can also help you with your Turning Point clickers if you are giving an in-person presentation and you want to use the clickers to take polls or ask questions during your presentation. I can help you do that as well. Another thing that I do is people who have existing presentations and they want to edit them, I can help you edit them as well. Like if you have a presentation from last year and you want to update it, for instance, a PowerPoint presentation that you've made a recording of and you want to take out a slide and put in a new slide with updated information, I can help you with that editing. I quite often help people with their audio. Another product it occurs to me now that I also support is Adobe Presenter. So if you're using Adobe Presenter, I can help you with that as well. And a couple of the people who are using Adobe Presenter have had audio problems. I think it's problems that they have recording with their computer. So they've sent me files that I've been able to, I use a software called Audacity to filter those audio presentations. I can get background noise out of them. I can get other annoying things out of them and create a good audio presentation for them. So that's another service that I can provide. As far as the clickers are concerned, I can help you also determining how you're going to use those clickers. As I've helped people, I've learned quite a bit about how they've effectively put them into their presentations. I get feedback from them if they come to me and say, well, that didn't really work too well. What can I do maybe to change the way that I'm presenting them? I can consult with them on that. So one thing I do want to show you here is, let's see if I can find it here. I want to find my desktop so that I can share it with you. Let's see. All right, let's see. Can you see my desktop there at all? Okay. So what I want to show you is here's the. Can you see the library homepage right now? Are people seeing that?
Now what we're seeing right now, Bill, is a page with your driver software installation.
Okay, maybe I shared
window.
the wrong. Maybe I shared the wrong page then. Let's see. How do I get back to that? Okay, I'll share this one. Okay, now you should be seeing it.
There you go.
So this is the library web page, and on this library web page, down here on the right-hand side, where it says Library Services, right underneath that is an ETDC link, and if I click on that, that will take us, hopefully, to the ETDC website, which I have on a platform called ATSU Guides. And on this website, you can see that on the left-hand column here, I have a list of a lot of the software and different things that we provide support for. And I have them in alphabetical order, so all the way from Adobe Presenter down through Zoomerang, which is a survey creating software. And these are links, and if you click on the link, like I'll click on the link down here for Camtasia Studio 7, and that will take me to an interior page in the website where I have a little section on Camtasia Studio. This is actually a page that has content development tools. Up at the top here you can see different tabs, and I'm on the content development tools PC page right now. And one of those boxes that's here is Camtasia Studio, and what I have is links to tutorials. I have little guides for getting started, links to those. And similarly for the other software, if there are online tutorials, I'll link to them on this page. And I've also created tutorials of my own for some things. Up here in one of the tabs, we have quick tutorial videos. If I click on that, it will work sometimes. If I click on that, it would take me to a page which will show the videos that I've made. I also have tabs up here for Blackboard 9.1. I have different tabs for the different links that come from the home page. I don't know why this is working so slowly today. It's taken a while for things to go through. But so that's our web page. You can get to the information about the different services through that web page. So, and as I said, you can get to that from the library page in the right-hand column there. So I think right now I'm going to turn it over to Margaret, and she can talk some about the services available on the Missouri campus.
Okay, thank you, Bill. As Bill mentioned, the Creation Station is new to the Missouri campus, and to give you a better idea of some of the services we provide, we actually created a short interactive video. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show that to you. Be just a second here.
Nice. So we're seeing a little virtual tour. Nice, Margaret. Are you doing a voiceover on this as well?
No, I'm not.
That's good. Yeah, great. Hey, nice. We'll get some thundering music in the background there and a little voiceover. It's awesome.
Well, we're just getting started here, but our goal here was to use, let me get out of the screen share here. Oops. Okay.
You're back.
Okay. So our goal here was to use some of the programs available in the Creation Station to give you an idea of some things you can do. Because Kirksville is primarily a residential campus, our clientele are slightly different. Right now we're working primarily with the biomedical science students. They've come in and used Adobe a lot of times. We're just starting to get faculty interest, so we're very excited to see Dr. Chamberlain using iBook Author on the Mac, which was delivered last week. So it's getting ready to take off, and we're excited.
That's great. One question came in from the chat room. I know Bill kind of alluded to the fact that the ETDC kind of targets faculty members, but someone was asking, is the ETDC mostly for faculty, or is it available for others who need assistance?
It's available, well, I think in Missouri, and I think Bill would chime in on the Mesa campus here as well, it's available for anybody. It's not just the faculty, it's not just the students. It can be staff members, anybody who has an interest in using the technology. We're ready and willing to help.
Yeah, and here on the Mesa campus, we do help faculty and staff, and a number of the faculty members have started sending students to us to create multimedia productions for their classes. I know that they're trying to get their students to produce things in different media, and so I've helped out quite a number of them lately. Getting those productions up on YouTube is usually where they've been putting them, and helping them create them as well. One thing that I think that I kind of glossed over as I was telling what services I presented here, I had here in Mesa. Let's see, am I sharing my? Here we go. As I mentioned, this is this platform right here is called ATSU Guides, and I can set you up for an ATSU guide if you just contact me, and I can set you up with a with an account. In
Bill,
creating...
Bill, it's not. I don't think it's the right screen on there.
Okay, I'll go back and try to do it again. All right, let's see. This one here?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this platform is called ATSU Guides, and it's kind of like a little website that you can set up, and faculty have used them for their sort of class websites where they can set up their students to collaborate with them using the website, or they've set them up. A couple of the programs have used them for program pages where they can put up information for students who are applying, or students who have already been accepted to the university, where they can post documents and things like that that the students need access to. And so I can set you up for an account in this platform for your web page, and I also provide support for Google Sites. If you want to use a Google site to set up a website for yourself or for a class or whatever use you would have for a website. So I support both of these. I support ATSU Guides and I support the Google Sites, and we've had quite a bit of interest in both of them, and I think people are looking into ways to create web pages for their classes and web pages for their programs. So that's one way that you can do it. Just contact me and I can do that for you. I can help you with it.
Yeah, I think the collaboration idea is really starting to blossom, whether it's a website, whether it's a tool like Skype, or a webinar tool like GoToMeeting, or this Google Plus Hangout. People are really starting to learn how to collaborate online. And I say starting because you can really do an awful lot online with people, but there's a comfort level and a learning curve that both have to kind of be gained. You have to gain some skills and you have to gain a comfort level in order to use them very effectively.
And I want to say that the library has just established a new position, electronic resource librarian, and Hal Bright started today in that position. Well, one of the things he's going to be taking the lead on for the library and working with ITS is helping us explore ways we can use these in a lot of the social and in a lot of different settings and ways, and build upon the really good start that ITS has in that. And he's also going to be, as part of his job, looking at the use of apps and mobile technology and the different tools that seem to develop and pop up so quickly. It's kind of, you know, just when you figure out one, you find that you're kind of 2 steps beyond what's the cutting edge. And so I think you'll see us move forward on as ITS sets these tools up and shows us how to use them, help us figure out how we can more effectively use them to impact our curriculum and our communications with each other and everything else as this technology keeps rapidly moving forward. Bill, did you still want to do a quick demo of the Storylight that you prepared?
Yeah, I can do that. Here, let me get to it. All right, and then I gotta. Yeah. So this is just a short little presentation. It's not really a presentation. It's just kind of a way that I can show how Storyline can create interactive stuff. You can see, first thing you can see is how you can customize the player that comes in there. I actually just learned to do this yesterday. So you can change the colors of it. You can put a logo up in there to brand it, and it actually makes a pretty nice little thing that for the player.
So when you say player, Bill, let's kind of go through the different areas that you're talking about. So if you look at the left-hand side, in the upper left-hand corner, that's a graphic, correct?
Yes, that's right.
And a logo.
And in the part of the software where you actually create the content and everything, there's a place in the ribbon at the top where that you can go and customize the player. It's very simple. You just click on that. It gives you all the different categories where you can do it. It tells you you can upload the logo or the image to put in the player like that. And then over here in the left-hand column, you can see where it's kind of like PowerPoint, where it names the different slides that are in this presentation, intro and scenario. You can put up here in the upper right-hand corner, you can see where it says resources. You can put their things in there for the students, like PDFs, if you want them to be able to have access to extra information that isn't going to be actually in the presentation, or background information. You can upload PDFs in there, and the student can access that through the resources button up there. You can even put, where it says menu here, you can put another tab here for a glossary if you want students to be able to reference terms that are in the presentation. So what this does, as you can see, it's playing in a browser. It's playing in Firefox. And it will also play not only on desktops, but it will play on your laptop. It will play on an iPad. It will play on an iPhone as well. You can produce it several different ways that will enable it to do that. So down here at the bottom, you can see that it has different navigational tools that are kind of familiar in different players, like this little triangle here. If I click on that, it will start playing. It has a little microphone or speaker thing here where you can set the level of the speakers. And here on the first slide, I do have some audio. I don't know if it's going to come through on the presentation, but I'll start it playing right now, and it's just sort of an introductory slide. It also shows how the player can customize how a live website will be shown. Okay, so did that come through on the audio?
Well, not really. We can kind of hear it in the background, but it's only coming through your microphone.
Okay, so basically what it said was that it's just a very short one-slide presentation in which, in the slide, I've created layers. And the layers, the way that I've utilized those layers is to create a branching scenario. And I know that there's been a couple of faculty members who've set up branching scenarios using Articulate in order to kind of have show a clinical setting where a patient comes in and then the student can make choices. And as they make choices, they go down they click on buttons within the presentation, and the clicking sends them down through different branches depending on what choices they make. And so I've tried to, I mean, I haven't set up a clinical presentation here because I'm not a clinician, but what I have set up is a little library presentation. And you can see the librarian over here, or the person asking the librarian, how can I find an ebook at the library when I'm at home? And so I have different buttons here that I've put in that are clickable, these green crosses. And the first one is answers this question that you have to go in and look at the library shelves yourself. Well, so if they click on that, well, that's wrong. Ebooks are not on the library shelf. So I've also provided a little button here, try again. So click on that, it sends you back to the original one. You can try again. Well, what happens if I try to use Google? And what happens in Google is it'll come up and it'll find places that will sell you the book that you're looking for. But since you won't be able to actually get to the content of the book, so there's a better way. And that better way is to go to the library website. And what this is, I put this image, it's a screenshot of the library webpage on here. And I've shown where you can go to find ebooks in the library. If you can do this on campus or you can do it off campus. And you can search for them in the library catalog. So if you click on the, this shows you the search box for the library catalog. You can put in your search terms. And then if you click on Search Now, that will send you to a list of the results. And these ones that have these kind of numbers are books that are actually on our shelves physically here in the library. But the ebooks will have an ebook notation on them. And so if you click, if you're looking for an ebook and it comes up here, if you're looking for neurorehabilitation technology and you're looking for the 2012 edition, you can click on the title of that book and it will take you to the record of it, tells you all the information about it, what edition it is, the authors and everything. And down at the bottom, it will give you a link to the ebook there. So if you click on that link, here's what the ebook looks like. This again is a screenshot. And then what I've provided here is if you click up here, now this doesn't actually show up in the ebook, this is just in my presentation. But if you click on this little box up here, what this does is it takes you to a live website. This website, this page here is live, so you can actually put a live website into your presentation if you want the students to be able to go and investigate. For instance, in this situation, they can now go and they can follow the steps that I've just demonstrated, and they can follow that through and find their ebooks within this presentation. And it opened, as you noticed, it opened another tab, and the students can go through the steps. If they need to go back and go through the steps again, they can click over here in the left-hand section here and go through the steps once again and find them. So that's just one way that you can set up an interactive presentation that you can, the students can actually follow it through, and it involves them within there. They go through the steps, they can follow the steps. They have to do clicking, they're not just watching it. And that's one way to utilize Storyline. And as I said, there have been very creative faculty members who have used Storyline in the Articulate Studio to set up clinical scenarios where they can guide students through the clinical presentations and things like that. And students can go down the wrong branches, and then they get down there and they say, well, let's try something else. Go back and then go down the ones that are the correct branches. And you can just, the sky's the limit as far as setting up scenarios within this software.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. You can really see the potential for using these tools as educational devices.
Yeah, and I think that you know, there's a growing amount of literature out there showing that this kind of engagement can really help the students learn, and can, as I said, talking to the work-study students, they're really tired of just watching the PowerPoints, and they would really, a lot of them would really like to have this kind of engaging presentation that they can view. And I know that, for instance, Mike in his classes has used Articulate to, what he'll do is he'll create a presentation that will have some of the facets of Articulate in them, and he will post the presentation ahead of time so the students can view it ahead of the class time, and then when they go to the class, they've seen the presentation of the information, and then what they can do is the class time can be used to ask questions and to interact with the faculty, so that they have kind of a bedrock of information before they go to the class, and then the class time can be used for questions that they have. And so in that way, you know, it frees up a lot of the class time for additional information, and makes the class time more efficient in that way.
Yeah, I think the literature refers to that as turning the classroom upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you see that a lot now. It's an interesting concept. I'm wondering, Bill, who are the faculty members who are using these tools really well? If there are other faculty members who are out there watching, who could they kind of peer with? Who of their peers is doing a good job with this kind of thing?
Well, I think the ones that I know of that are using very creative ones, they're actually distance faculty. Joy Levine, who's in the PT department, and Kathleen Matheson, who is in the Doctor of Health Sciences, and they both work at a distance, but they're using the tools very creatively. Other people who have been using Articulate, John Hike, who's an on-campus here in Mesa faculty member. They're the ones that I think that have, you know, are really the pioneers, the people who have really been pushing the envelope on this and finding creative new ways to use the software.
And I think that as the university, and I think this year we're going to start seeing again the movement towards a more learning-centered approach to our instruction and our curriculums. I think these tools will become more and more important as we look with the leadership of our eventual Center for Learning and Teaching, that these tools have the potential to really help us move into this more interactive, as I think a lot of places are facing the challenge. There's economic and other reasons why they want to move to distance learning, for example, and I think the question's been, how can we make distance learning more effective? And I think, Brian, that's what you were referring to also. So I think these tools will become more and more important as the university shifts its educational focus to being more interactive, both residential and distance.
Yeah. One more question that came through actually earlier in the chat session. I haven't seen any more recent, so if you're still out there watching, please be sure to use the chat as your tool for getting questions to us. But there was a question about, Bill had talked a little bit earlier about Illuminate, and I had posted in the chat session that Illuminate is the same as Blackboard Collaborate. So the question was, what's the difference? They're the same thing. So Blackboard purchased Illuminate a while back, and they've just rebranded it now to Blackboard Collaborate. So they've merged a couple of products together, but it's the same thing. So sorry, I wanted to throw that in there. But to get back to where you were at, Mike, and talking about faculty members who are really doing this well, one of the things we've talked about a little bit is, trying to come up with some recognition tools or even awards to try and bring those faculty members who are really doing very interesting and creative things with these online tools, or not even online tools, just other types of technology in the classroom, and recognizing them so that their peers can see what they're doing, and hopefully get more of the brainstorm going in different areas of the college, kind of seeding it.
Yeah, I think it's important that we identify and support our pathfinders, and then we can, I think even like Bill's brief demonstration, it's much easier for people to conceive of what we're talking about when they see it rather than hear us talk about it. And I think that ITS is championing of things like this Hangout are other examples of where not only are we using the technology, but we're also demonstrating the value of the use of the technology. Because often as we move in new directions, the most important part with people not familiar with it is helping them to understand why they should care. Once they understand, the teaching them how is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I know, Mike, you and I have had lots of conversations about kind of this open space of how do people learn all of these new tools. There are so many new tools out there, and even an individual tool is changing so rapidly that there's a gap in people's skill sets on how to use these tools. And I know when we've talked about it, we've talked about the continuum between kind of the academic components of this and the technology components of different tools. And it's really that area in between where the skills are lacking. And so I'm sure that there's faculty who would be confused about where do I go for support on this. Do I go to IT? Do I go to the library? Do I go to my instructional coordinator? And we're trying to figure that out. I think it's just fair to say to everyone, we're struggling to try and figure that out ourselves, because there's a component that's academic, there's a component that's technology oriented, there's a component that's resource oriented that the library is really good at. So we have to bring all three of these areas together to try and cover all of the different bases around those new tools.
And the other thing we've been working on, and I think successfully, is these different components of support, is I think we're making an effort to cooperate with each other. I mean, Bill is tied into the help desk. If something comes to the help desk that they think that Bill can help with, the help desk will forward it to him. Same thing if people come to Bill for a question that's technical, he will send them to the appropriate person. And it's us working together, and that I think is strengthening our ability to support, like you say, this full range of different types of needs people has as they initially stumble and try and figure out how to move through these different tools, which are, I think, fairly intimidating to a lot of people, including some of our faculty and staff.
Yeah, you bring up a good point, and I don't know, Gene Varnold, if you want to say anything about it. The library and the help desk actually sharing the same work order system to facilitate transferring information back and forth between the two areas.
Actually, you said it quite well, but we do share the work order system, Parature, and we have it set up so that the library folks have a queue within it, so if a ticket comes in that we think that they can handle better than we can, we put it into their queue, and usually Bill or Cynthia had been picking it up. I'm assuming Margaret does now too, and it really works well.
Mm-hmm. The other thing I wanted to comment on too, and Brian was commenting a couple of minutes ago about how do we get the message out, and I think what it comes out is we have to have different avenues in different ways, because different people are used to different ways to find out and explore information. I think these Hangouts are an example. I think the web pages that ITS and the ETC have set up, which list and show and give ways that faculty members who want to go on and play with it themselves can and learn. We're also having, we provide one-on-one consultation. I think, the IT sends out updates and almost many newsletters. I think it really comes out to help communicate and spread the word on this, we have to have use a multiple of platforms and a multiple of tools, and look to come up with the ways that different faculty are going to use. And I think that's something that I think we're making good progress on as well.
Yeah, and I think Mike mentioned earlier that there is an intimidation factor with some of this technology as well. And that's another reason why we're here, is to reduce that intimidation factor. A lot of what I do is one-on-one consultation. You come down here and we try to remove that intimidation. We try to show you the software. For instance, that little storyline presentation that I created there. I sat down. It took me a little while to figure out what I wanted to do, and once I had figured out what I wanted to do, it took me maybe 15 minutes to create that. So the technology is not something that is, you know, this stuff that's going to take you 6 hours to create a presentation. It's very simple to use, and really what you need to gain that simplicity is just to be introduced to it. And I think, and that's why we're here, to provide that introduction and to really get over that intimidation factor. There's no need to feel intimidated whatsoever. The technology is there to work for you and for you to use in your presentations, in your classrooms. And we're here to help you get over the initial learning curve. And really, with most of this software, it really doesn't take a lot of time to get into it. It's just a matter of being able to get introduced to it, and then you're off and running, really.
I've noticed too, Bill, that in the past we've had to call you in a couple of times on the weekend, or call you to put something in your queue to let you know it's there. I believe that you're receptive always if there is a problem over the weekend to provide assistance.
I haven't been aware of that. I think most of
the... Be careful.
I think a lot of the emails that are generated by Parature that come to us actually go to Mike, and I would actually like to find a way for them to go to me.
But we can do that. Let's talk offline on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I will say that our email is monitored on the weekend by Cynthia, and she answers a lot of these and provides this support too, and weekends and evenings, and that's really broadened our ability to support students, and that tends to be more in terms of library uses, but she's quite helpful, quite able and helpful to help students on other issues too.
Yeah, Cynthia's great. And I hope she's still watching the session. Cynthia, you're great. I'll give you the thumbs up.
I second that. Cynthia is wonderful.
All right. Anything else, Mike, Bill, Margaret, Jean, that you guys want to kind of focus on for the ETDC?
The only thing. Go ahead, Bill.
I just want to, just to re-emphasize that we're here, and if you have a question, a technology-related question about content within your not the back end of technology, that's IT that does that kind of stuff. My computer isn't working or something like that, but using the technology for your and software for your classroom content. If you have any questions at all, just contact us, and we're here. I think that's the basic message of this session is that we're here to help you.
The only thing I'd add, and I think I can speak probably for Brian and ITS as well, is we need your feedback. We're here to help you, and the more we can find out from you what's working, what's not working, what services we can add, how we can adapt, what we do to make you more effective in what you're doing, that's kind of how we earn our keep and really look forward and appreciate those of you who call and say, I need help with this, I have a problem with that, because that hopefully that enables us to make our service even more effective. And you'll see the same thing with ITS in the different ways that they're looking for input and feedback, because what we're all doing is challenging. and no one's, I think, really figured out how to do it perfectly. And just as soon as we figure out how to do it, there's some new app, there's some new thing that's come out, and we're starting almost over again, keeping up. So keep giving us feedback and keep giving us opportunities, and if there's problems, let us know, and working all together, I think we can provide a support service that can help our faculty and staff and programs be as effective as possible.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. It was a good session. Hopefully people learned some things about the ETDC and the services provided. I'll put a little plug in for our next session. Our next session is actually only a week away rather than 2 weeks. We're just taking a week off, or no weeks off, right, Gene? We're on next Thursday. And the topic is basically travel warrior. So working anywhere, working from a hotel, working when you're on the road, and I guess I'm going to kind of moderate that, but I'm looking for people who are well-traveled and use lots of tools to help with that conversation. So if any of you know people that travel a lot and use the different tools provided by ATSU or other cloud-based tools, let me know. We'll have a good discussion on that next week. Good. Thanks, everybody. We'll call it a wrap.
All right.
Okay. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.